Hi, my name is Oscar and I'm a scientist. In this channel we talk about green card categories in which you can self-petition without a company or even a lawyer. Today we are going to discuss the preparation time for an EB-1A green card petition. I'm going to talk about the different parts, what it's involved in this process, and I'm going to give you an estimate for a timeline. Let's jump in. Alright, so for EB-1A, the process is relatively similar to EB-2NAW. I do have a video for that other category that you can go watch, and I'll leave a link right here. And also for EB-1, you should understand what the requirements are for this green card category. This is the highest standard for a green card in terms of employment-based green card. I have another video that I'm going to leave a link here, so you can go and watch what are the requirements that you need, okay? So, assuming that you understand that, let's jump in the time that it will take you to prepare this application. My estimate is that it will take you somewhere between 6 months to a few years, depending on factors like how much time you put into the preparation, but also what country you are from and what time specifically you will be preparing your petition. We know that the backlogs for green cards change over time, so that's a factor that is outside your control. In this video we're going to discuss that as well. These are the three main pieces of the preparation of a green card. You have to prepare your I-140 petition. That is the part of the process in which you argue to the USCIS officer, you convince them that you are worthy, that you meet the criteria for this green card. Then, once you submitted your I-140, there's the processing time, the time that USCIS will take to review your case and to take a decision on your case. And if you are approved, then you have to either adjust your status with an I-485 process if you are in the United States, that's adjustment of status, or undergo consular processing if you are abroad in another country. After you complete these three parts, then you will receive, hopefully, your green card. So let's go one by one, describing a little bit more in detail what each of these portions of the process are. So first, the preparation time for the I-140. For the I-140, let me move my face a little bit. For the I-140, you need to understand first the green card category. I already left you that video where I explain the criteria you need to fulfill. You need to be a person of extraordinary ability, and of course there are certain criteria you need to meet for that. Number two is that once you understand that, you need to strategize on what your case will look like. What are your strengths? What criteria for extraordinary ability you can fulfill. You need to have at least 3 out of 10 criteria. So you will put together a strategy for your profile. Number 3 is that you need to complete your profile and make your case stronger. And this is optional. Some people may already have a very strong profile, and some people may decide that they need to put more work into their own professional profile so their case is stronger. And that may take weeks or months. Number 4 is to contact potential recommenders, both in this EB-1A green card category and EB-2NAW. Recommendation letters are part of this petition. They are not mandatory, but they are really important to strengthen your case. So you will need to start contacting those professionals so you get the letters from them. Number 5 is to draft those recommendation letters and get them signed by the people that we identified in number 4. Number 6 is to draft your cover letter, and that is the letter in which you address the USCIS officer and put together your arguments so they can review them, and in that letter you summarize the evidence that you provide in your I-140 petition. And of course, you need to draft that letter and gather all the evidence that you will use as exhibits for your petition. Number 7 is to review, spell check, correct, and prepare for mail. You will need to mail that petition to USCIS. All these things will take you a certain amount of time. I have estimated, in my experience, that time to be between 1.5 months for people that really put a lot of effort into preparation of this green card petition, to 5 or 6 months for those of you who will take a little bit longer. Also, it will depend on your potential recommenders, how speedy they will be, okay? So once you have mailed your petition, once you have submitted your petition to USCIS, you will need to wait for them to take a decision. And that decision time will vary. It depends when you are submitting this case. Recently, times have gotten much better, but these times are variable depending on which visa center takes your case and the current backlog at USCIS. Right now, like I said, is a good moment in 2023. The times are quite short, and EB-1 is the best category in terms of backlogs. There's less wait time because it's the highest standard to meet. So there's less people that can apply for it, therefore the decision times are better. You also have the option to expedite your I-140 decision time with a premium processing request. It will cost you about $2,500 and you will get your decision within 15 days as well. Okay, how can you check your estimated processing times? There's two ways. One, a little bit more conservative, that's that first way that I'm going to show you, and then another one that I will show you later. There's this link that you can access, and you can select Form I-140, and then Extraordinary Ability E-1A, that's the code for EB-1A, and then select one of the two service centers, Texas or Nebraska. That website looks a little bit like this. Those are the options you will select, and you will get the processing time, and you will see a number like this one. That number may scare you a little bit. Let me move my face again, because 23 months is what is showing me right now. It's a little bit long, but remember that this is the amount of time it took them to complete 80% of the cases over the last 6 months. So it is a very conservative estimate because it's the time it took them to decide on 80% of the cases, okay? So this is an estimate, this is a conservative one, and once USCIS receives your petition, you will be able to track the status of your petition, okay? This is the second way you can get an estimate. You can get the median processing times from USCIS using this website that I'm showing you here, and these are the times that we can see there. For I-140 right now, the median processing time is about 4 months, which has been getting better in the recent times. All right, and once you submitted your I-140, then you will have to either adjust your status if you are in the US with an I-485, or if you're abroad, you have to do consular processing. So let's get into that second part of the process. For people that are in the United States, you will send your adjustment of status. There are multiple centers across the United States. You will send it to a centralized location, but then your case will be assigned to one center or the other, depending on what is your state of residency. For example, in my case, I was living in Massachusetts, so my case went to Boston, the service center USCIS has in Boston. So you can also check estimate processing times using the same website I show you for the I-140. Basically it's exactly the same thing, but it will give you the estimate for 80% of the cases, okay? That's that website again. And one thing that I have to mention here is that the I-485 adjustment of status process or the consular processing times really depend on the backlogs that exist in that moment. All right, so what do I mean by backlogs? Well, the way the green card system works in the US is that there are a limited number of green cards per year. For employment-based green cards is 140,000. There is a cap per country, 7% of the total. So no more than 7% can go to a particular country. That means that countries that have a lot of applicants will have longer wait times. So your country of origin for USCIS is not your nationality, is not your citizenship, is your country of birth, where you were born. And the priority date, which is the date you submitted your I-140, and the visa bulletin, that's a monthly publication that USCIS and the Department of State issue every month, will determine your wait time. Typically, China and India have longer waits. But as I mentioned earlier, the EB-1 green card category is the best category because the wait times are shorter. For example, right now, for most countries, there's no wait for this backlog system. China and India do have less than 2 years of wait time for this green card category. All right, so the conclusions, and this is a mistake, the EB-1A process can take from a few months to several years, depending on different things. Your case looks like and how long it will take you to prepare all the documentation. The exact moment of filing will dictate what are the lines of petitioners, the backlogs, and the country of origin of the petitioner will also affect these backlogs, because petitioners from China and India will have to wait more than others to complete that second step of the process, either consular processing or adjustment of status. I do have a video about retrogression that you can watch. I'm going to leave a link here. Generally, EB-1 is the best choice for people from China and India and everyone else because it's the higher standard. That means that there's less backlog than for other green card categories. If you are interested in applying for this type of green card in which you can self-petition without a company and even without lawyers, I have a website, eb1greencard.info, where you can find a lot of information about this green card category. I have another one, EB-2NAW, about this other green card category as well. In those websites, you can find a lot of free information, and you can also download real sample petitions with the cover letters, with the documentation, with reference letters. Basically, my documents you can download so you can see how it is done and you can prepare the best case for yourself. With that being said, as usual, I thank you for your attention, for subscribing to this channel, for sharing it with others, and I will see you in the next video. Until then, good luck in your green card petition.